My dear friend, your lack of belief and faith is preventing you from moving mountains. Let's start with a reading from Matthew chapter 17, verse 20. Some background on this verse. Jesus and his disciples were in a crowd, and a boy was brought to them. This boy was demon possessed, and try as they might, Jesus' disciples could not remove the demon from the child. So ultimately, the boy was brought to Jesus, and Jesus was able to cast the demon out. Now, let's read Matthew chapter 17, verse 20. He replied, he being Jesus, because you have so little faith. Truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. If you have faith and if you have belief, true faith, akin to a mustard seed, which is a seed that is 1 to 2 millimeters in diameter, then you can move mountains. This is what Jesus has said. The size of a mustard seed is so significant because although it is only 1 to 2 millimeters in diameter, it can grow to a plant. It can grow into a plant rather, ranging anywhere from 6 feet to 12 feet, and sometimes even into a small tree. Now, I would like to reference David. David, as you know, the famous biblical character that is famous for taking on Goliath. David was a humble shepherd boy. He was overlooked by everyone, even his own father, when the prophet Samuel came to anoint a king. Although David was overlooked by everyone, there is one person who saw David and saw his potential. One person that really mattered. And that was God. God saw David's potential before the world saw it. And not only that, David had the faith in God and the belief in God as well as himself long before he ever sat on the throne. David carried himself, although from humble beginnings, David carried himself like a king before he ever became a king, before he was ever anointed, before he was ever crowned. My friends, this is how you have to carry yourself. Before the world sees you and recognizes your greatness, your talent, your ability, your character, you must carry yourself like a king or like a queen. You must see the vision before the world sees it. But most importantly, you must have the faith of a mustard seed, or God will simply refuse to use you. Now, we pretty much are all familiar with the story of David and Goliath. But as it pertains to having the faith of a mustard seed, it is very significant. Goliath was a massive giant by all accounts, and David was an average-sized warrior. Goliath had the entire army and perhaps an entire country petrified, but not David. Not David. And although David killed him with a slingshot, that would not have been possible without faith. What's so interesting is how David was overlooked, but when the time came, he was ready. Not to prove doubters he may have had wrong. No, but to prove God and to prove himself right. And you must have the same mindset that David had. The world may be overlooking you now, but you must see the vision before the world does. You must have that belief in yourself before the world ever does. You must carry yourself like a king or queen before you are ever crowned. You must see yourself defeating that Goliath in your life. Goliath is a symbol. Goliath, for some of us, might be debt. It might be a job we don't like. It might be a person or a group of individuals who are bullying us. It could be a boss at work. It could be some personal hardship that we're going through. It could be pride. It could be lust. There are so many things in this world that can represent that Goliath. But see, like David, you can defeat Goliath with just the faith of a mustard seed. Such a tiny seed, 1 to 2 millimeters in diameter, but yet it can grow into something so great and so profound and so powerful and beautiful. Beautiful little birds can one day perch on the branch of a tree that started out as a little seed, 1 to 2 millimeters in diameter. Likewise, your faith starting out small can turn into something so majestic and beautiful and grand that others will come to you and be inspired by you. You can move mountains. But first, You have to believe. There are so many of us out there right now that are in that army, and we're facing all sorts of, cultural behemoths, pride, corruption, evil. Many of us are being bullied. Our families don't believe in us. Your colleagues might not believe in you. The world laughs at you. Maybe you don't look like some model. Maybe you don't have a PhD. Maybe you don't have a college degree. You might not have even graduated from high school. But let me tell you something. God can and will use anyone, and it has nothing to do with your status, and it has everything to do with your faith. Will you step forward? Will you confront that Goliath that has everybody else petrified? Will you do it? Greatness starts with one step. And like David versus Goliath, after that one step, immortality awaits. Keep the faith. Have the faith of a mustard seed, and you can move mountains, and you can defeat giants. Whatever that Goliath is in your life, whether it's pride or lust or debt or people hating on you or not believing in you, have that faith of a mustard seed. You pick up that slingshot and you hold that mustard seed and you step forward and you take on Goliath with Jesus Christ behind you, and you will win because the Lord Jesus Christ has already overcome the world. Greatness awaits, my friends. Will you step forward? God bless you all. Until next time, my friends. Keep the faith of a mustard seed, and you will grow into something more beautiful and majestic than you ever could have imagined. But it starts with a kernel, with the faith of a mustard seed.